The Cottonwood County Citizen proudly presents Athlete of the Week. Hy-Vee in Windham is your employee-owned grocery store, featuring the freshest produce and a full-service meat department. Visit our deli with hot, ready-to-eat entrees and daily lunch counter specials. Great selection, outstanding service, Hy-Vee of Windham, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. I'm joined right now by Windham senior Abe McKibbin, our Athlete of the Week this week. Congratulations, Abe.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Let's go back to the holiday tournament, and you guys opened up with KMS, and KMS is a team that has, you guys have had a couple of really good battles with over the last few years, but they were a lot taller this year than I seem to remember, and that height kind of was a big challenge for you guys. Going into the KMS game, what was the game plan to try and attack that height a little bit?
We wanted to help when they would drive, so because they're obviously taller than us, they can shoot a little bit over us, especially when they get closer to the rim. So coach did let us know that we gotta help, and when they do drive, we gotta all come in together and make them shoot threes, because that's probably not that wasn't really their strength. Their strength was to get to the bucket. So our game plan was to let them shoot from three, but obviously that didn't work out for us. We still got to the bucket, and we got some good shots in there to pull out the win for them.
It's been a challenge for you guys this season because you don't really have a lot of height. How are you guys able to try and compensate for that lack of height, to try and collapse the defense a little bit more?
I think it was a good thing that we played a team right away with good height, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to play a lot of opponents in our Big South Conference that do have height, so it was a good challenge. And to stop the height, I believe that the best way to stop the height is just having to be stronger and wanting it more than they, because if you can put your body in there and push them out, make it seem like it's a harder shot for them, because even though they're taller, if you end up being stronger than them, I think it kind of messes up their mindset and be like, well, I'm taller than them, but he's still manhandling me. So I think we have to make it up with strength.
There was a definite highlight in the KMS game, though, and that was you did something that only 5 other Windham Eagle boys have done, and that was you scored your 1,000th career point against KMS. Take me through that play and what happened.
I think they got a bucket right away, and I like to leak out a little bit, so I saw that they had a little run going. So when they have a little run, their defense usually kind of collapses and their mindset isn't there. So I ran away right to my spot, the left hand three. So I raised my hand up, and Henry passed me the ball, and I was like, well, this shot's got to go in because we need it.
Your teammate Henry did it earlier in the year. What was that like for you to see, to be on a team with a teammate that's a 1,000-point scorer, to see that happen and know that my time's coming?
It's generally one of the best feelings ever, seeing your teammates succeed. And really, I've always been great friends with Henry, so seeing him succeed, I think I didn't see it like as a teammate. I think I see it like as a best friend. Like, I was proud of him, and I knew that my time would come. So when he hit his 1,000 points, I knew that the best way to congratulate him was just be there for him and support him and make it, and obviously show him that I cared a lot. So and I knew the time was going to come eventually, but at that moment I was there for him, just like how when it was my moment, he was there for me.
To be on that list, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I think people will say, well, it was 1,000 points. And when you start out your career, you're like, oh, maybe I'll hit my 1,000 points. But then once you start playing and you start scoring all those points, and then you see your point go up, you're like, well, it kind of gets difficult because you play against really good opponents.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of get to that 1,000 point mark, and you're like, wow, I really hit 1,000. Now it seems like you can do anything because you did one of the greatest accomplishments that you can do while playing.
Then after the KMS game, you guys faced Tracy, and Tracy's a team that is young, they're athletic, almost kind of a little bit of a polar opposite of KMS. TMB is a fast-paced team. They get up and down the floor, they shoot a lot of threes. They've got one really dynamic scorer, and you guys have to get ready for them with really no practice time.
what was the strategy to try and slow down Smith in that third place game?
Mitch definitely told us that he's a shooter, so we had to close out on him and let him drive and beat us by him driving. And I think it was more us wanting to win because we were upset that it was a holiday tournament and we weren't playing for the championship game. So we took that personal, I would say. Mm-hmm. And it just made us want to go out there and just go and beat them. And it was by 30, and beat them by 30. It was by beat them by 10, but we wanted to go out there and win.
Offensively in the Tracy game, it looked like it was really good balance, up and down the board for you guys on offense. But a big key was free throw shooting. And that is something that has been really a point of emphasis this season because as a team last year, you guys struggled from the free throw line. Wednesday against Tracy, 26 of 30. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was pretty good free throw shooting. It's every day at practice, we start out by shooting free throws and we end by shooting free throws. So we know it's critical because we like to drive and we like to get fouled. And we know that a lot of teams can't guard us because we have a lot of weapons. So they know that they're going to have to foul, and we know that it's critical to make our free throws.
Looking ahead for you guys, I know that as we're doing this interview, you guys are scheduled to play Laverne tomorrow. Doesn't look like Mother Nature's going to cooperate. Yeah. But coming up, you've got games with Laverne and Pipestone, and down, you've got another crack at Jackson later in the season. All teams that are in your section and in the conference, and really critical games to get some momentum going forward for the playoffs. What's the mindset this week? You guys had practice this morning, getting ready for this big stretch of tough games to get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, even though the season hasn't started how we've wanted, I think the best way is just to put it behind and obviously learn from it. But we know that we have some tough matchups going on, and we know that we have to win because we have to let the conference know that we're also a really competitive team and that we're not a team that you want to play in the playoffs. So I think it's a great matchup for us, and it's great to show us how much we can learn from it if we win or lose. But obviously we want to win, so we're going to go out there and we're going to try and win and just show everybody that, Wyndham's also here to play and compete. Well, now it has to be my 1,000-point moment because it was just incredible because at an early age I never thought I was going to be able to hit it, and now being able to see it happen in my eyes and just seeing it was just an incredible moment for myself. That's a tough one. I would say probably some Cardi B. The toughest opponent that I consider to play against is probably Laverne because I just think that whenever we play Laverne, it doesn't matter what our records can be. It's always going to be such a competitive game that, win or lose, it's the toughest one to play. This year, I think they would describe me as more being a leader and being there for them and letting them know that if we make a mistake, it is definitely okay because I made plenty of mistakes the past 4 years of me playing. So I would say more of a leader, and then I would say more of like the funny guy and the type that is always trying to cheer everybody up even though things might not go our way. Some of my hobbies is work, hang out with my family, hang out with my girlfriend, and just stuff like that. I'm a teenage kid.
And of course, you're a senior this year. Have you started looking at the future? What's the future hold?
The future is holding as of right now. I definitely don't know what school I might go to because I have some options for maybe some college football, but I don't know if I want to commit to that yet. I do think I want to go into the criminal justice field because that's just something that has always interested me. So I think I'll continue for criminal justice.
Well, that should be all we need. Congratulations on a big milestone last week. Best of luck the rest of the way, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hy-Vee in Wyndham is your employee-owned grocery store, featuring the freshest produce and a full-service meat department. Visit our deli with hot, ready-to-eat entrees and daily lunch counter specials. Great selection, outstanding service, Hy-Vee of Wyndham, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle.